Ladies and gentlemen, let us turn our attention to the quiet, transformative power of the chosen woman. She is not marked by wealth, beauty, or status, but by the depth of her awareness and the alignment of her soul. The chosen woman knows that her true power lies within her. She does not need the approval of the world because she understands a sacred truth: her imagination is the creator of her reality. What she believes about herself becomes her world. When she says, "I am," she is not speaking of what she hopes to be, but of what she knows she already is. A woman who knows her power comes from within is unlike anyone else. She walks through life with a quiet confidence, aware that her strength does not depend on the opinions or validations of others. This realization sets her apart, for she understands that external circumstances are merely a reflection of her inner state. Her power is rooted in her understanding of self, a profound awareness that the source of all she seeks already resides within her. This kind of woman does not cling to titles, possessions, or the fleeting approval of society. She knows that such things are transient and cannot define her worth. Instead, her identity is grounded in her understanding of the divine within her. She recognizes that she is not separate from the creative force that governs the universe, and this realization gives her a profound sense of security. The world may shift around her, but her foundation remains unshaken. Her confidence stems not from arrogance, but from an unshakable faith in her ability to create her reality. The woman who knows her power comes from within understands the nature of her mind and its limitless potential. She sees her imagination not as a whimsical tool, but as the blueprint of her life. What she dwells upon internally will manifest externally. This awareness gives her a sense of responsibility for her thoughts and emotions. She does not allow herself to be ruled by doubt or fear, for she knows that such feelings, if indulged, will create the very circumstances she wishes to avoid. Instead, she chooses to think deliberately, focusing only on what aligns with her highest vision. Because she draws her strength from within, she is not easily swayed by external forces. She listens to her intuition and trusts her inner voice, even when it contradicts what the world around her is saying. This inner guidance acts as her compass, leading her toward choices that resonate with her truth. She does not need constant advice or reassurance from others, for she has cultivated a deep connection with herself. This ability to trust her inner knowing allows her to move through life with clarity and purpose. This woman is also resilient in the face of challenges. When adversity arises, she does not crumble or look for someone to rescue her. Instead, she turns inward, accessing the reservoir of strength that lies within her. She understands that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, a chance to discover even more of her innate power. She does not view difficulties as punishment or misfortune, but as a natural part of the journey toward becoming her highest self. Her ability to remain centered in the face of hardship inspires those around her, though she does not act for recognition or praise. Her inner power also makes her self-sufficient. While she values relationships and enjoys the companionship of others, she does not depend on anyone to complete her. She knows that she is whole as she is, and that her happiness cannot be outsourced. This self-sufficiency allows her to give freely to others without feeling depleted. She shares her time, energy, and love from a place of abundance, not from a need for reciprocity. Her relationships thrive because they are based on mutual respect and shared growth, rather than dependency or control. The woman who knows her power comes from within also understands the importance of self-love. She treats herself with kindness and compassion, knowing that her relationship with herself sets the tone for all other relationships. She does not engage in self-criticism or doubt her worth, for she knows that such behaviors are incompatible with the truth of who she is. Instead, she affirms her value daily, nurturing her spirit with positive thoughts and actions. This self-love radiates outward, drawing people and opportunities into her life that reflect her inner state. Her power is magnetic. People are drawn to her presence not because she seeks attention, but because she embodies authenticity and grace. She does not need to prove herself or compete with others, for she knows that her journey is unique. This authenticity makes her a source of inspiration, encouraging others to look within and discover their own power. She does not diminish others to elevate herself. Instead, she uplifts those around her simply by being true to herself. Above all, the woman who knows her power comes from within is free. Free from the constraints of societal expectations, free from the need for external approval, and free from the fears that hold so many back. She moves through life with a sense of ease and flow, trusting that all she needs will come to her at the right time. Her faith in the unseen allows her to embrace uncertainty without anxiety, for she knows that her inner world will always create her outer reality. This woman is a living testament to the truth that all power is internal. She shows us that when we stop looking outside ourselves for validation, answers, or strength, we discover the infinite wellspring of potential that has been within us all along. And in doing so, she not only transforms her own life, but also inspires others to awaken to their own inner power. A woman who walks alone yet feels complete carries a presence that is both rare and profound. Her solitude is not a burden, but a sanctuary, a place where she finds clarity, strength, and unwavering peace. While many seek companionship to fill a void or distract from their inner struggles, she embraces solitude as a path to self-discovery and fulfillment. She is not afraid of being alone, for she understands that true completion does not come from others, but from within herself. Her ability to walk alone is not born out of necessity or isolation, but from choice. She values her own company and recognizes the immense power that comes from standing independently. In the quiet moments of solitude, she connects deeply with herself, nurturing her mind, body, and spirit. She does not look to others to validate her existence or provide her with a sense of purpose. Instead, she finds these things in her connection to the divine within her, a connection that reminds her she is never truly alone. This woman does not fear silence. In fact, she thrives in it. While the world around her clamors for attention, noise, and distraction, she retreats to the stillness within. It is in this quiet space that she hears the whispers of her soul, the guidance of her intuition, and the answers to questions she once sought externally. She understands that silence is not emptiness but a gateway to greater understanding. It is in these moments of solitude that she learns the most about herself, discovering her desires, her strengths, and her boundless potential. Her sense of completeness stems from her profound self-awareness. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and what she desires in life. This clarity allows her to walk alone with confidence, unshaken by the opinions or judgments of others. She does not seek to conform to societal expectations or fit into molds that do not align with her truth. Instead, she charts her own path, guided by her inner wisdom and unshakable belief in herself. This independence is not a rejection of others, but a declaration of her freedom to be herself. A woman who feels complete within herself does not fear the absence of relationships or companionship. She understands that being alone is not the same as being lonely. While she cherishes meaningful connections, she does not rely on them to feel whole. Her relationships are an extension of her wholeness, not a patchwork to cover emptiness. This allows her to love others freely, without attachment or neediness. She gives from a place of abundance rather than lack, making her connections genuine and fulfilling. Her solitude is a source of strength. In walking alone, she has learned to rely on herself, to trust her instincts, and to face challenges head-on. She knows that her resilience is not dependent on anyone else's support or approval. This self-reliance does not mean she rejects help when it is offered, but she does not depend on it. She has faced her fears, her doubts, and her insecurities in the quiet of her solitude, emerging stronger and more self-assured. Every step she takes alone reinforces her belief in her own capabilities. Walking alone also gives her the freedom to focus on her growth and dreams without distraction. She uses her solitude to cultivate her talents, pursue her passions, and build a life that aligns with her vision. She is not weighed down by the expectations of others or the need to compromise her values to fit into someone else's plan. This freedom allows her to create a life that is uniquely her own, one that reflects her deepest desires and highest aspirations. Her ability to feel complete in solitude inspires others. In a world that often equates worth with relationships, she stands as a reminder that self-love and self-awareness are the foundations of true happiness. People are drawn to her not because she seeks attention, but because her independence and authenticity radiate a quiet confidence. She shows others that it is possible to be content and fulfilled without constantly seeking external validation. This woman is also deeply connected to her spirituality. Whether she views this as a connection to the divine, the universe, or her higher self, it is this relationship that sustains her. She feels the presence of something greater guiding her, supporting her, and reminding her that she is never truly alone. This spiritual connection fills her with a sense of peace and purpose, allowing her to walk her path with grace and courage. A woman who walks alone yet feels complete embodies a profound truth that our worth and happiness are not determined by our relationships, achievements, or external circumstances, but by the love and acceptance we cultivate within ourselves. She is a living testament to the power of self-awareness, self-love, and inner strength. Her journey is not about isolation but about wholeness, a wholeness that comes from embracing who she is and trusting the path she is meant to walk. A woman who commands rather than pleads understands the profound truth about her worth, her power, and her ability to shape her reality. She knows that to beg or plead is to operate from a place of lack, but to command is to stand firmly in the knowledge that she is already worthy of all she desires. This approach is not rooted in arrogance but in certainty, a quiet confidence that stems from the awareness of her inner authority. She understands that the world does not respond to desperation but to conviction. Her command begins with her understanding of self. She sees herself not as a victim of circumstance, but as the creator of her experiences. This realization changes everything. Instead of seeking permission or validation from others, she declares her desires boldly and confidently. She does not ask the universe, society, or those around her to make room for her. She creates the space she needs and steps into it unapologetically. Her commands are not about forcing or controlling others, but about aligning with the natural flow of her inner power. When this woman speaks, she does so with intention. Every word she utters carries weight, because she understands the creative power of language. She is deliberate in her declarations, knowing that her words have the ability to shape her reality. She does not waste time with "if only" or "I wish," for these phrases suggest doubt and hesitation. Instead, she speaks in terms of "I am," and it is done affirming the truth of her desires as though they are already accomplished. This language of certainty transforms her life, drawing opportunities and experiences that match her unwavering belief. Her ability to command stems from her alignment with her inner being. She does not command from a place of ego or entitlement, but from a deep understanding of her connection to the divine. She recognizes that she is not separate from the source of creation, but an integral part of it. This connection allows her to trust that what she declares is already being brought into existence. Her faith is not in external forces, but in the power of her own belief, and this faith allows her to move through life with confidence and ease. This woman does not settle for less than what she knows she deserves. She does not lower her standards or compromise her values to appease others or avoid conflict. Instead, she sets clear boundaries and expects them to be honored. This expectation is not rooted in entitlement, but in self-respect. She knows that by commanding respect from others, she teaches them how to treat her. And if someone cannot meet her standards, she does not plead for their understanding or acceptance. She simply walks away, knowing that her worth is not determined by someone else's ability to see it. This woman's ability to command, rather than plead, also means she is not easily swayed by rejection or setbacks. She does not see a closed door as a reason to give up or question her worth. Instead, she views it as a redirection, an opportunity to align more closely with her desires. Her faith in herself and the power within her remains unshaken, even in the face of temporary obstacles. She knows that what is meant for her will come to her, not because she begs for it, but because she commands it with certainty and trust. Her presence inspires others. She does not demand attention or approval, yet people are drawn to her because of the strength and clarity she exudes. She shows others that it is possible to live with dignity and purpose without compromising oneself. Her ability to command respect, opportunities, and fulfillment is a testament to the power of self-belief and alignment with one's inner truth. This woman stands as a reminder that we are not here to plead for scraps from the table of life. We are here to command with confidence, to declare our worth, and to step boldly into the lives we are meant to lead. Her strength is not in what she demands from the world, but in the faith she has in her own power to create it. A woman who lives in the end carries an unshakable confidence in the realization of her desires. Her mind is not preoccupied with how or when things will unfold. She lives in the state of fulfillment, as if her dreams are already accomplished. This way of being is not an act of pretending or hoping. It is a deep, inner knowing. She understands that creation begins in the imagination, and that her thoughts and emotions shape the reality she experiences. Her power lies in her ability to dwell in the feeling of her desires already realized. Instead of being consumed by doubts, fears, or obstacles, she centers herself in the joy, peace, and satisfaction of having already achieved her goals. She envisions herself in the life she desires, allowing this vision to permeate her thoughts, words, and actions. To her, this is not wishful thinking, but a deliberate practice of aligning with the reality she knows is hers. This woman does not waver. When challenges arise, she does not allow them to pull her away from her inner vision. She sees setbacks not as defeats but as temporary illusions that will soon dissolve as her desired reality takes shape. Her focus is unwavering because she knows that what she consistently holds in her imagination will eventually manifest in her life. This faith is the foundation of her strength, enabling her to remain calm and composed even in the face of uncertainty. Her ability to live in the end influences every aspect of her life. In her relationships, she does not dwell on fears of rejection or inadequacy. Instead, she imagines and feels the love and connection she desires as already present. This transforms her energy, making her magnetic to the type of relationship she seeks. She does not chase or beg for affection, because in her mind she is already loved and cherished. This self-assurance creates a powerful aura that naturally attracts those who align with her vision. In her career, she does not approach her ambitions with desperation or anxiety. She does not focus on the gap between where she is and where she wants to be. Instead, she embodies the mindset of someone who has already achieved her goals. She walks, speaks, and acts as if her success is inevitable. This confidence opens doors and opportunities that others might miss, as she is attuned to the possibilities that align with her desired outcome. Living in the end requires discipline, but it is a discipline rooted in joy and trust. She makes a conscious effort to redirect her thoughts whenever they stray into doubt or negativity. She understands that dwelling on what is unwanted only serves to perpetuate it. Instead, she chooses to dwell on what brings her peace and fulfillment. This mental practice becomes second nature to her, a way of life that consistently reinforces her inner vision. This woman does not concern herself with the opinions or doubts of others. She knows that her vision is her own, and that it does not require external validation to become real. While others may question her choices or doubt her dreams, she remains steadfast in her belief. She understands that her imagination is the blueprint for her reality, and that the world will eventually conform to the picture she holds within. Her confidence is quiet but undeniable, rooted in the unshakable conviction that what she imagines is already hers. Her ability to live in the end also means she is not consumed by impatience. She does not measure time by what has not yet happened, but by the fullness of her inner experience. To her, the feeling of having already achieved her desires is as real and satisfying as the physical manifestation. This detachment from the need for immediate results allows her to remain peaceful and grateful in the present moment. She trusts that everything is unfolding perfectly, and that her desires are on their way to her. She does not permit just anything to enter her mind. She filters out the noise of the world, rejecting thoughts and ideas that do not align with her highest vision for herself. She is aware of the constant bombardment of opinions, fears, and distractions from outside sources, and she chooses to remain centered and grounded. She does not give her energy to gossip, criticism, or negativity, knowing that such things can easily take root and grow if allowed. Instead, she focuses her attention on what uplifts, empowers, and aligns with her inner truth. Her mental discipline is not born out of fear, but out of love for herself and her dreams. She values her peace and clarity too much to allow them to be compromised by fleeting doubts or external chaos. When negative thoughts arise, and they inevitably do, she does not fight or suppress them. Instead, she observes them with detachment, acknowledging their presence without letting them take control. She replaces them with thoughts of possibility, gratitude, and strength, shifting her focus back to what she desires to create. This woman is deeply selective about the information and influences she consumes. She understands that what she feeds her mind shapes her perception, and ultimately her reality. Whether it is the media she watches, the books she reads, or the conversations she engages in, she chooses wisely. She surrounds herself with inspiration, wisdom, and positivity, knowing that these elements nourish her mind and keep it aligned with her purpose. She does not allow toxic or limiting beliefs to infiltrate her sacred space, for she knows the cost is too great. Her inner world is her sanctuary, and she treats it as such. She takes time to cultivate stillness and silence, creating space for reflection and connection with her inner self. Through practices like meditation, journaling, or simply moments of quiet, she ensures that her mind remains clear and focused. These moments are not indulgences but necessities, allowing her to reset, recharge, and realign with her intentions. By guarding her mind, she creates an environment where creativity, intuition, and clarity can flourish. She is also conscious of the power of her words and how they reflect the state of her mind. She speaks with intention, understanding that her words are extensions of her thoughts and carry the energy she wishes to manifest. She avoids speaking in self-defeating or limiting ways, choosing instead to affirm her strength, capability, and worth. Her language reinforces the sacredness of her mental space, keeping her focused on what is possible rather than what is lacking. This woman's ability to guard her mind extends to her interactions with others. She is mindful of the company she keeps, surrounding herself with those who respect her boundaries and uplift her spirit. She does not entertain relationships that drain her energy or fill her mind with doubt. While she is compassionate and understanding, she does not allow others to project their fears or insecurities onto her. She knows that protecting her mind is not about shutting people out, but about discerning what aligns with her truth and what does not. Her guarded mind is not a fortress of rigidity, but a sanctuary of intentionality. She remains open to growth, learning, and new perspectives, but she filters them through the lens of her values and vision. She is not swayed by every passing trend or opinion, but remains anchored in her own inner guidance. This balance allows her to remain adaptable without compromising her integrity. The results of her guarded mind are evident in her life. She exudes a sense of calm, focus, and strength that others cannot help but notice. Her clarity of thought translates into decisive actions, and her unwavering belief in herself propels her toward her goals. She faces challenges with resilience, knowing that her mind is her greatest asset and her strongest ally. No matter what life throws at her, she trusts in her ability to navigate it with wisdom and grace. This woman teaches us the importance of treating our minds as sacred spaces. She reminds us that what we allow into our consciousness shapes not only how we see the world, but also what we create within it. By guarding her mind, she creates a life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment, showing us all that the key to transformation begins within. A woman who radiates grace and strength is a presence that commands attention without demanding it. Her power lies not in what she says or does, but in who she is. Her essence speaks louder than words. She moves through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that her strength is not something she needs to assert aggressively, but something she embodies effortlessly. Grace and strength are her natural states, and they shine through her every action, decision, and interaction. Her grace is rooted in her ability to remain composed in all circumstances. She does not allow the chaos of the world to disturb her inner peace. Whether faced with adversity, success, or uncertainty, she carries herself with dignity, choosing to respond rather than react. Her calm demeanor inspires trust and respect, as others sense her unshakable inner stability. This is not a facade, but the result of her deep self-awareness and understanding of the transient nature of external circumstances. Her strength, however, is not loud or forceful, it is quiet, but undeniable. She possesses an inner fortitude that allows her to persevere through life's challenges. This strength is born from her ability to embrace her vulnerabilities, rather than hide from them. She understands that true strength comes from acknowledging her fears, doubts, and pain, and then rising above them. This acceptance of her humanity makes her resilient, for she knows that every setback is an opportunity for growth. She carries herself with grace not to impress others, but because it aligns with her values. She is kind, compassionate, and considerate, yet these qualities do not make her weak. On the contrary, they reveal the depth of her strength. It takes courage to remain kind in a world that can be harsh, and it takes fortitude to maintain compassion when faced with cruelty or indifference. Her grace is not about perfection, but about being genuine and intentional in her actions. Her strength is reflected in her ability to set boundaries and stand firm in her convictions. She does not bend to please others or compromise her integrity for approval. While she is empathetic and understanding, she is not afraid to say no when necessary. This balance between grace and strength ensures that she is not taken advantage of, and it allows her to protect her energy and focus on what truly matters. She does not seek to control others, but instead exercises control over herself, her emotions, reactions, and choices. Her grace extends to the way she treats herself. She does not berate herself for her mistakes or shortcomings, but approaches herself with kindness and forgiveness. She understands that self-compassion is not indulgence but necessity, for it is the foundation of her strength. By nurturing her well-being, she ensures that she can show up fully in her relationships, work, and life's pursuits. Her ability to be gentle with herself sets an example for others, showing them the power of self-love and acceptance. In her relationships, she radiates grace and strength through her ability to communicate with clarity and empathy. She listens deeply, speaks thoughtfully, and seeks understanding rather than dominance. She does not engage in unnecessary conflicts or dramas, choosing instead to prioritize harmony and mutual respect. Yet, she does not avoid confrontation when it is necessary to uphold her principles or advocate for what is right. Her strength lies in her ability to navigate challenges with integrity and wisdom. This woman's grace and strength are also evident in her presence. She does not need to seek validation or approval, for she is secure in her worth. This self-assurance makes her magnetic, as others are drawn to her calm confidence and authenticity. She does not try to be someone she is not, and this genuineness inspires those around her to embrace their own uniqueness. Her presence alone is a reminder of what is possible when one lives with alignment and intention. Her grace and strength are not qualities she was necessarily born with, but ones she has cultivated over time. She has faced trials that tested her resolve and experienced moments that required her to rise above her fears. Through it all, she chose to learn, grow, and evolve. Her grace is the result of her ability to find beauty in life's imperfections, and her strength is the outcome of her refusal to give up, no matter the odds. This woman reminds us all that grace and strength are not mutually exclusive. They complement each other, creating a harmony that is both powerful and inspiring. She teaches us that true strength does not need to dominate but can coexist with gentleness, and that true grace is not about being flawless but about being authentic. In her we see the embodiment of a balanced and empowered life, one that radiates beauty, resilience, and purpose. In this journey of understanding the essence of a chosen woman, we see that her power lies in her ability to walk with purpose, strength, and authenticity. She knows that her worth comes not from external validation, but from her alignment with her inner truth. She lives intentionally, commanding her reality rather than pleading for it, guarding her mind as a sacred space, and embodying grace and strength in every facet of her being. She understands the profound truth that her world is shaped by her thoughts, her actions, and her unwavering belief in herself. This woman does not merely exist, she thrives, radiating an energy that inspires those around her. She is a testament to what is possible when one chooses to live deliberately, refusing to settle for anything less than the life she envisions. Her story is a reminder to us all that we hold the power to create, to rise, and to embody the extraordinary. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of the chosen woman's qualities. May her journey inspire you to step into your own power, live with intention, and shine with the brilliance that only you can bring to this world. In the grand theater of life, every soul is both the author and the actor. Yet, how often do we play the role of a victim, relinquishing our creative power to the seeming forces of the world? I tell you now, you are not a victim of circumstances, misfortunes, or failures. You are a victor, the master of your destiny, and the architect of your reality. To be a victor is to know that your life is not shaped by chance, but by choice. The world you see, with all its challenges and blessings, is a reflection of the thoughts and feelings you carry within. When you imagine yourself as a conqueror, as one who overcomes, the universe rearranges itself to mirror that image. The imagination is the greatest gift bestowed upon humanity, the unseen force through which we shape our reality. Most people view imagination as mere fantasy, a whimsical escape from the tangible world. But in truth, it is the seed from which all creation blossoms. Everything you experience, every joy, challenge, success, or failure can be traced back to the images and emotions you have entertained in the mind. To understand this principle is to unlock the key to transforming your life. When you close your eyes and imagine, you are not engaging in idle daydreaming. You are actively creating. The world around you may seem rigid, unchangeable, governed by external forces. But this is an illusion. The real power lies within, in the visions you hold and the feelings you cultivate. Every building, every invention, every piece of art, and every great achievement began as a formless idea, nurtured by the imagination of an individual who dared to believe in its reality. You may wonder how something as intangible as imagination can influence the material world. The answer lies in the connection between thought and experience. Your thoughts generate feelings, and your feelings shape your actions. These actions, in turn, dictate the life you live. If you imagine yourself as successful, capable, and abundant, you align your emotions and behaviors with these qualities. On the other hand, if you dwell on fear, lack, or failure, your actions and experiences will reflect those states. Imagination does not require the approval of the senses. What you see, hear, touch, or experience in the physical world does not limit what you can imagine. In fact, the most profound changes occur when you dare to imagine something entirely contrary to your current circumstances. Consider the person who is financially struggling yet imagines themselves living in abundance. To the outside world, this might seem foolish or delusional, but if they persist in their vision, something remarkable happens. Their inner state begins to shift. They feel a sense of wealth and gratitude, even before it manifests outwardly. This shift in feeling is the magnet that draws new opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with their imagined reality. It is important to note that imagination operates continuously, whether you are conscious of it or not. Most people allow their imagination to run unchecked, replaying scenes of worry, regret, or fear. They unknowingly create lives filled with the very things they wish to avoid. This is why becoming aware of your imagination and directing it purposefully is so vital. You must guard your thoughts as a gardener guards their crops, pulling out the weeds of doubt and negativity and planting seeds of hope, faith, and love. The key to effective use of imagination lies in embodying the feeling of your desired outcome. It is not enough to think about success or happiness. You must feel it as though it is already yours. When you close your eyes and imagine, allow yourself to fully immerse in the experience. See the details, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions. For example, if you desire a new home, imagine walking through it. Feel the texture of the walls, smell the fresh paint, hear the sound of your footsteps echoing in the halls. This vivid, emotional connection to your vision is what activates the creative process. Doubt often creeps in when we imagine something that feels too far removed from our current reality. But doubt is a learned response, a product of conditioning and past disappointments. It has no power unless you give it power. When doubt arises, remember that the imagination does not operate within the constraints of logic or reason. Its domain is limitless and its power is infinite. Trust that what you vividly imagine and deeply believe is already on its way to becoming your reality. Many will say, "I have tried imagining, but nothing changed." This reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of the process. Imagination is not about wishful thinking or fleeting moments of visualization. It requires persistence and faith. Just as a seed planted in the soil needs time, water, and sunlight to grow, your imagined vision requires consistency and nurturing. You must return to it daily, reaffirming your belief in its reality, even when no visible evidence exists. The most beautiful aspect of imagination is that it frees you from the confines of the past. No matter what has happened before, you have the power to create something entirely new. You are not bound by your mistakes, failures, or circumstances. Each moment offers a fresh canvas upon which you can paint the life you desire. The only limitation is the scope of your vision. Imagination is not an escape from reality, it is the foundation of reality. To live without harnessing its power is to drift aimlessly, subject to the whims of chance. But to live with intentional imagination is to step into the role of creator, shaping your world with purpose and precision. As you awaken to this truth, you will realize that your life is not something that happens to you, it is something you create. So close your eyes, dream boldly, and dare to imagine a reality that reflects the greatness within you. For what you imagine today will become the life you live tomorrow. In life, we often find ourselves surrounded by circumstances that seem insurmountable, as though they hold the ultimate power to dictate who we are and what we can achieve. But this is a false narrative, one that many accept without question. The truth is, circumstances do not define you, they merely reflect your inner state. You are far greater than the sum of your experiences, and within you lies the power to rise above any situation, no matter how daunting it may seem. Circumstances are like the surface of a lake, ever-changing, influenced by external forces such as wind, rain, or sunlight. Yet beneath the surface lies a depth that remains untouched by these fleeting conditions. That depth is your true self, the essence of who you are beyond appearances. To believe that your identity is tied to the surface is to live in a state of limitation, constantly reacting to what happens around you. But when you recognize that you are the stillness beneath the waves, you free yourself from the grip of circumstance. Many people allow their current conditions to dictate their thoughts, feelings, and ultimately their actions. They say, "I can't be happy because of this," or "I'll never succeed because of that." In doing so, they hand over their creative power to the external world, becoming prisoners of their environment. However, the key to freedom lies in understanding that circumstances are not fixed, they are malleable. They are the product of past thoughts, beliefs, and choices. Change those inner factors, and the outer conditions must follow suit. This does not mean ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. Instead, it is about refusing to let those challenges define your sense of self. For example, a person who loses their job might be tempted to think, "I am a failure." But the job loss is merely an event, it does not diminish their inherent worth or potential. By shifting their perspective and seeing the situation as an opportunity for growth or redirection, they reclaim their power. The event remains the same, but its meaning changes, and with it, the path forward. Your ability to rise above circumstances begins with awareness. Recognize when you are identifying too closely with a situation, when you are letting it dictate how you see yourself. Pause and remind yourself that no condition is permanent. The most challenging moments in life often carry within them the seeds of transformation. What feels like an obstacle today may, in hindsight, be the very thing that propelled you to greater heights. Consider the stories of those who have overcome great adversity. These individuals often faced circumstances far more difficult than most of us can imagine: poverty, illness, loss, or failure. Yet they refused to let those circumstances define them. Instead, they used them as stepping stones to create something extraordinary. What separates these individuals is not their circumstances, but their response to them. They chose to see themselves as more than their situation, and in doing so, they transcended it. The power of choice cannot be overstated. No matter what is happening around you, you always have the power to choose your thoughts and attitudes. This choice may feel small, even insignificant, in the face of overwhelming circumstances, but it is the foundation of true freedom. When you choose to see yourself as capable, resilient, and worthy regardless of external conditions, you set a new course for your life. Your circumstances may not change overnight, but as you persist in this inner shift, the outer world will begin to reflect it. It is also essential to understand that circumstances are not punishments or rewards, they are neutral. They gain meaning only through the interpretations you give them. If you see a setback as a failure, it becomes a weight that holds you down. But if you see it as a lesson or an opportunity, it becomes a tool for growth. This perspective is entirely within your control, and it is what allows you to rise above any situation. Faith plays a crucial role in transcending circumstances. Faith is the assurance that your current situation does not define your ultimate reality. It is the conviction that, regardless of appearances, you have the power to create a new experience. This faith is not blind optimism, but a deep knowing that the creative force within you is greater than any external condition. As you cultivate this mindset, you will find that circumstances lose their grip on you. They may still arise, as challenges are a natural part of life, but they no longer have the power to dictate your identity or your destiny. You will begin to see yourself not as a victim of your environment, but as the creator of your experience. And in that realization, you will discover true freedom. You are not defined by what happens to you, but by how you choose to respond. Circumstances may shape your path temporarily, but they do not determine who you are or what you can achieve. You are far greater than any situation you face, and the power to rise above lies within you. Stand firm in this truth, and watch as the world begins to reflect the strength, resilience, and greatness that you carry. To assume the feeling of victory is to embody the very essence of success, even before it becomes visible in your external world. It is an act of aligning yourself with the energy and mindset of a person who has already triumphed. This principle is not a mere intellectual exercise, it is the practice of living and thinking as though the victory you desire has already been realized. To fully understand this concept, we must first recognize that our outer reality is a reflection of our inner state. The feelings we carry and the assumptions we make about ourselves shape the events that unfold in our lives. Imagine a champion standing on the podium, their arms raised in celebration, basking in the glow of their victory. The joy, the sense of accomplishment, the pride, they are not just thoughts but feelings that they carry in their being. What if, instead of waiting for the moment of victory to arrive, you could step into that feeling right now? By doing so, you would begin to attract the circumstances that match this feeling, because the world around us is shaped by what we believe and feel. The feeling of victory is the magnetic force that draws success into your life, and the more you can saturate yourself in this feeling, the quicker it will manifest. The power of assuming the feeling of victory lies in its ability to influence not only your thoughts but your actions. When you feel victorious, you act with confidence, resilience, and determination. You make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear. You move forward with conviction, knowing that success is inevitable. This feeling of certainty becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your actions reflect your belief that you are already victorious, and the results will follow suit. But how do you step into this feeling when your current circumstances may suggest otherwise? The key is to understand that the world around you is an illusion, constantly shifting and reflecting your inner beliefs. Your current situation, no matter how challenging, is only temporary. It is a reflection of past thoughts and emotions, not an indicator of your true potential. Therefore, to change your reality, you must first change the way you feel about yourself and your future. When you assume the feeling of victory, you are consciously shifting your mental state to one of success, even if the evidence has not yet manifested in your life. This process requires faith. Faith is the belief that your assumed feelings will eventually materialize into your physical reality. It is not a passive hope, but an active trust in the creative power of your imagination. To assume the feeling of victory is to trust that the victory you are experiencing in your mind will soon be reflected in the world around you. You must believe that the inner changes you are making are as real and powerful as any external achievement. This requires a shift in how you perceive time. Victory does not always arrive in the form we expect or on the timeline we anticipate, but it always comes when we align ourselves with the feeling of having already achieved it. There will be moments of doubt and resistance. You may question if this practice really works or if it is just wishful thinking. But remember, feelings precede manifestations. A seed, when planted in the ground, does not immediately sprout into a tree. It requires time, nurturing, and care. Similarly, the feeling of victory, when assumed and sustained, will eventually manifest in the world around you. The key is to persist even when there is no outward evidence of your success. Trust that the feeling you are embodying is creating the conditions for your victory to unfold. To assume the feeling of victory, it is helpful to visualize yourself already living your desired outcome. Take a few moments each day to close your eyes and immerse yourself in the feeling of having achieved your goal. See the details of your success, whether it is a business triumph, a personal goal, or a spiritual breakthrough. Feel the emotions that come with that success: pride, joy, relief, and gratitude. Allow yourself to fully experience these emotions in the present moment. The more vividly you can imagine and feel your success, the more you align your energy with it. In time, your external reality will shift to match the internal world you have created. Another powerful way to assume the feeling of victory is to change your self-talk. The words you speak to yourself shape your self-image and influence the actions you take. If you constantly tell yourself that you are struggling, that success is out of reach, or that victory is for others but not for you, then you are reinforcing a mindset of defeat. But when you speak to yourself as a victor, as someone who has already achieved their goals, you begin to rewrite your internal narrative. Tell yourself, I am successful. I am successful. I am a winner. My dreams are already coming true. These affirmations, when spoken with conviction and belief, will help anchor the feeling of victory in your consciousness. Assuming the feeling of victory is a transformative practice that empowers you to create your desired reality. It is the art of living as though success is already yours, and in doing so you become a magnet for it. As you immerse yourself in the feeling of victory, you will find that challenges become opportunities, setbacks become lessons, and every step you take brings you closer to the manifestation of your dreams. Trust in the process, remain persistent, and know that the victory you feel today will soon become the reality you experience tomorrow. Awareness is the gateway to transformation. It is the key that unlocks the door to your true potential and allows you to step into a life of purpose, clarity, and fulfillment. Many people go through life on autopilot, reacting to circumstances and allowing external events to shape their thoughts and emotions. But true power lies in the ability to be aware of what is happening both inside and around you. Awareness is not simply about being conscious of the present moment, but it is about understanding the deeper currents that drive your thoughts, feelings, and actions. At its core, awareness is about observation. It is the practice of stepping back from the stream of daily life and becoming the observer of your own experience. When you are aware, you no longer identify with your thoughts or emotions. You recognize that you are not your thoughts, but the observer of them. You are not your fears or anxieties, but the one who notices them. This shift in perspective allows you to detach from the constant noise of the mind and tap into a higher state of consciousness. It is in this state of heightened awareness that your true power resides. One of the most profound aspects of awareness is its ability to reveal the nature of your inner world. Most people go through life unaware of the patterns and beliefs that govern their behavior. They may have limiting beliefs about themselves, their worth, or their ability to succeed, but these beliefs operate in the background, shaping their decisions without them even realizing it. Awareness brings these unconscious beliefs into the light, allowing you to examine them, and if necessary, replace them with more empowering ones. Once you are aware of the stories you have been telling yourself, you can rewrite them and create a new narrative one that aligns with your true desires and goals. awareness also reveals the power of choice. When you are not aware, you are at the mercy of your circumstances. You react automatically to external events driven by emotions like fear, anger, or frustration. But when you are aware, you realize that you have the power to choose how you respond. You no longer have to be a victim of your circumstances. You can choose to respond from a place of calm, clarity, and wisdom. This ability to choose is what separates those who live reactive lives from those who live deliberately and with purpose. With awareness, you begin to take responsibility for your own life. You stop blaming external factors and start recognizing that you are the creator of your experience. Awareness is also the foundation of self-mastery. To master anything, you must first be aware of it. If you want to master your emotions, you must become aware of how you feel in any given moment. If you want to master your thoughts, you must be aware of the quality of your thinking. If you want to master your actions, you must be aware of the habits and patterns that govern your behavior. Awareness allows you to see where you are and where you want to go, and it gives you the clarity to make the changes needed to reach your goals. Without awareness, you are like a ship adrift at sea, unaware of the direction you are heading. But with awareness, you can navigate with precision, choosing the path that will lead you to the life you desire. In addition to self-mastery, awareness fosters compassion and understanding. When you are aware of your own thoughts and emotions, you become more empathetic to the experiences of others. You recognize that everyone is dealing with their own inner battles, and that people's behavior is often a reflection of their own struggles. Awareness enables you to respond with kindness and understanding, rather than judgment. It creates a sense of connection, because when you are aware of your own humanity, you are better able to recognize it in others. This compassionate awareness enhances your relationships and allows you to interact with others from a place of love, not fear. The practice of awareness also deepens your connection to the present moment. So often people live in the past or the future, dwelling on what has been or worrying about what might be. But the present moment is where true power lies. In the present, you have the ability to create, to choose, and to act. When you are fully aware of the present moment, you are no longer caught in the stories of your past or the anxieties of your future. You are free to be fully engaged in life, to experience the richness of each moment, and to act with purpose and intention. The present is where life happens, and awareness allows you to tap into that flow. Another powerful aspect of awareness is its ability to dissolve limiting beliefs and negative patterns. Often the things that hold us back are not external obstacles, but internal beliefs that limit our potential. These beliefs, such as I am not good enough, I am not deserving of success, or I will never be able to change, are deeply ingrained in our subconscious minds. But when you become aware of these beliefs, they lose their power. Simply acknowledging them is the first step in freeing yourself from them. You can then replace them with new, empowering beliefs that align with the reality you wish to create. To cultivate awareness, practice being present in every moment. Pay attention to your thoughts, your feelings, and your physical sensations. When you find yourself lost in thought or caught up in an emotion, gently bring your focus back to the present. Over time, you will develop a deeper sense of awareness, and this awareness will begin to permeate every aspect of your life. Awareness is a powerful tool for transformation. It allows you to become conscious of your thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors, enabling you to make intentional choices that align with your true desires. It empowers you to take control of your life and create the reality you want to experience. As you cultivate greater awareness, you will find that your life begins to shift in remarkable ways. The world around you will reflect the clarity, peace, and purpose that you hold within. Through awareness, you step into your full power and begin to live a life that is truly authentic and aligned with your highest potential. The first step in reprogramming the mind is recognizing that our thoughts shape our reality. The ideas and beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world around us determine how we experience life. If we believe that success is difficult to attain or that we are not worthy of love, we will create experiences that reflect those beliefs. On the other hand, if we adopt empowering beliefs about our potential, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. Therefore, the key to reprogramming the mind is to become aware of the limiting beliefs that have been holding us back and to replace them with new, more constructive ones. One powerful way to begin reprogramming the mind is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that challenge the negative beliefs that we have been conditioned to accept as truth. By repeating these affirmations daily, we begin to rewire our brains and shift our subconscious programming. For example, if you have struggled with feelings of inadequacy, you might affirm, "I am worthy of success and happiness." By consistently repeating this affirmation, you begin to change the neural pathways in your brain, replacing the old belief with a new one that supports your growth and success. Visualization is another potent tool for reprogramming the mind. Visualization involves mentally rehearsing the experiences you desire, vividly imagining yourself already living your ideal life. The brain does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. It responds to the feelings and emotions that arise from these mental images. When you visualize your desired outcome with intense emotion, you activate the same neural pathways that would be triggered if the experience were actually happening. This not only strengthens your belief in the possibility of your success, but also aligns your subconscious mind with the energy of that success. Over time, this alignment can lead to the manifestation of your desires in the physical world. Another crucial aspect of reprogramming the mind is surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the environments you inhabit all play a role in shaping your mental programming. If you are constantly exposed to negativity or limited thinking, it can be difficult to shift your mindset. On the other hand, by surrounding yourself with individuals who support your growth, engaging with uplifting and empowering content, and spending time in environments that inspire you, you create a fertile ground for positive change. These external influences reinforce the new beliefs and behaviors you are working to adopt, making it easier to stay on track and maintain your focus. Reprogramming the mind also requires patience and consistency. The mind is a powerful tool, but it takes time to change deeply ingrained beliefs and patterns. Just as a plant requires consistent care and nurturing to grow, so too does the reprogramming process. It is important to be patient with yourself and trust that the changes you are making are taking root, even if you don't see immediate results. The key is to stay committed to your practice, knowing that every small shift in thought and behavior is a step toward the life you desire. In addition to being patient, it is essential to believe in the process. Self-doubt is one of the greatest obstacles to reprogramming the mind. When you begin changing your beliefs, you may encounter resistance from your subconscious mind, which is deeply invested in maintaining the status quo. This resistance may show up as feelings of fear or uncertainty. However, it is important to recognize that these feelings are simply part of the reprogramming process. They are not signs that the process is failing, but rather indications that your mind is stretching and evolving. Embrace the discomfort as a sign of growth, and continue to trust in your ability to change. Reprogramming the mind also involves releasing old emotional baggage. Many of the beliefs that limit us are rooted in past experiences, often from childhood. These experiences may have caused emotional wounds that continue to influence our thoughts and behaviors. To truly reprogram the mind, it is essential to address and release these past traumas. This may involve forgiveness both of others and of yourself, or engaging in healing practices such as journaling, therapy, or meditation. By clearing away the emotional debris from the past, you create space for new, empowering beliefs to take root. It is important to take inspired action. While reprogramming the mind is a powerful tool, it is not a substitute for action. The mind shapes your beliefs and perceptions, but it is your actions that bring those beliefs into reality. As you shift your mindset and begin to see yourself as capable of success, take bold steps toward your goals. Trust that as you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you will begin to create the circumstances that match your new reality. Reprogramming the mind is a transformative process that can lead to profound changes in every area of your life. By becoming aware of your thoughts, replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones, and consistently practicing tools like affirmations, visualization, and mindfulness, you can rewire your brain and create the life you desire. It requires patience, belief, and consistent effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. When you master the art of reprogramming your mind, you unlock your true potential and step into a life of abundance, success, and fulfillment. Faith in the unseen is the foundational principle that bridges the gap between the physical world and the world of infinite possibilities. It is the belief in something beyond what the eyes can see or the senses can touch. This kind of faith requires trust in a reality that is not yet visible, but one that exists in potential. It is the force that drives us to pursue our dreams, even when circumstances appear unfavorable, and it empowers us to take bold actions in the face of uncertainty. Faith in the unseen operates on the understanding that the unseen is just as real, if not more so, than what is apparent in the physical world. At its core, faith in the unseen is the belief that our desires, dreams, and aspirations are already manifesting in the unseen realm, long before they appear in the physical. This is not blind faith, but a conscious belief in the unseen process of creation. In many ways, it mirrors the natural world. Seeds are planted in the soil, but their growth occurs below the surface before they emerge into the open. Similarly, when we plant the seeds of our desires in the subconscious mind, we trust that, even though we cannot immediately see the results, they are being nurtured and cultivated in the unseen realms of possibility. This type of faith transcends traditional religious or spiritual interpretations. It is a universal principle that operates in every area of life. It is the knowing that things are always working out for us, even when we cannot yet see the evidence. This belief fuels resilience and persistence, especially when facing challenges or setbacks. When you have faith in the unseen, you are not deterred by temporary appearances or external conditions. You trust in a deeper, invisible current that is guiding you toward your desired outcomes. The process of manifesting desires, for instance, requires an unwavering belief that the desired outcome is already on its way, even before any tangible evidence presents itself. When we manifest, we are not asking for something to come into existence. Rather, we are aligning ourselves with the realization that what we seek is already present in the unseen. The challenge is to continue trusting in this process, especially when the physical world appears to be at odds with our desires. The work, then, is not to make things happen, but to stay in faith and to remain in alignment with the belief that the unseen is as real as the seen. Faith in the unseen also calls for patience. The journey from desire to manifestation often takes time, and the space between these two realities can feel uncertain or uncomfortable. During this time, many may begin to doubt or question their path, especially when they see no immediate results. But it is in these moments of doubt that the strength of one's faith is truly tested. The unseen work continues even when we cannot see it, just as a flower continues to grow in the dark before it bursts forth into the light. Trusting in the unseen means knowing that even when progress seems imperceptible, the universe is still working behind the scenes to bring your desires into form. One of the key components of faith in the unseen is the ability to let go of attachment to the outcome. Faith in the unseen is not about controlling how things unfold, but about trusting that the universe knows the best timing and way for your desires to manifest. This trust allows you to release the anxiety or impatience that often accompanies the desire for something. When you are able to let go of the how, and when you make room for the universe to work in ways you may not have previously imagined. This is an act of surrender, not in defeat, but in the understanding that there is a greater intelligence at play that is leading you toward what is for your highest good. The law of attraction also operates on the principle of faith in the unseen. What we focus on, believe in, and feel deeply, we attract into our experience. However, this process requires not just thinking positive thoughts, but truly believing in the unseen reality of what we desire. This belief must be unwavering, no matter what external evidence presents itself. For example, if you are seeking financial abundance, you must hold the faith that the abundance is already on its way, even when your current financial situation seems less than ideal. It is in holding that belief, trusting in the unseen, that you align your actions, thoughts, and feelings with the energy of abundance, and in turn attract it into your life. Furthermore, faith in the unseen encourages an attitude of gratitude and expectancy. When you trust that the unseen is working on your behalf, you begin to express gratitude for everything you already have, as well as for what is on its way. Gratitude amplifies the energy of faith and sends a clear signal to the universe that you are open and receptive to receiving your desires. Expectancy is equally important. By maintaining an attitude of expectancy, you align your energy with the belief that what you desire is already yours, and you prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically to receive it. Faith in the unseen is a transformative force that can change your life in profound ways. It calls you to trust in what you cannot see, to believe in the process of creation, and to surrender control over how things unfold. When you practice this kind of faith, you are not just waiting for things to happen, but you are actively aligning with the unseen forces of the universe to bring your desires into reality. It is the belief that everything is working in your favor, even when you cannot immediately see the results. With unwavering faith, you step into the fullness of your potential, knowing that the unseen is just as real and powerful as the seen. Persistence in vision is the unwavering commitment to seeing your desires, dreams, and goals manifest, no matter what obstacles or challenges arise along the way. It is the ability to hold a clear, vivid image of your ideal life in your mind and continuously move toward it, even when external circumstances may seem discouraging or uncertain. Vision, in this sense, is not simply about having a goal. It is about maintaining a mental picture of that goal with such intensity and belief that nothing can shake your faith in its eventual realization. Persistence in vision is the force that propels you forward, regardless of the setbacks or difficulties you may encounter. At the heart of persistence in vision is the power of imagination. Imagination is the tool that shapes your reality. When you visualize your desired outcome with focus and conviction, you are essentially planting the seeds of that outcome in your subconscious mind. The more vividly you see your vision, the more real it becomes to you. Imagination is not a passive act, it is an active, intentional creation of the life you wish to experience. Through consistent practice of imagining your success, you begin to feel it in every fiber of your being, and this feeling attracts the circumstances, people, and events that align with your vision. This persistence is not a matter of forceful action, but of steady alignment with your vision. When you persist in your vision, you maintain a constant state of mental and emotional alignment with your goal. You continually affirm that what you desire is already yours, even as you take the necessary steps to bring it into physical form. This alignment is key to creating the right conditions for your vision to unfold. It is not about constantly striving or struggling, but about trusting that every thought, feeling, and action aligned with your vision is moving you closer to your desired reality. The power of persistence in vision also lies in its ability to transform your mindset. When you hold a vision of success, abundance, or fulfillment in your mind, it gradually shifts your beliefs and perceptions. You begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems. The more persistent you are in holding your vision, the more your mind will naturally begin to filter out anything that does not align with that vision. You will start to make decisions, take actions, and form relationships that support the manifestation of your goals. This shift in mindset is often subtle but powerful, as it reprograms your subconscious to align with your conscious desires. In the process of persistence in vision, it is important to cultivate patience. While the vision you hold in your mind may be clear and vibrant, the physical manifestation of that vision often takes time. Patience allows you to remain steadfast in your belief, even when the path ahead is unclear or when progress seems slow. Trusting in the timing of the universe and maintaining your vision, regardless of the external pace, is a key aspect of persistence. This trust is rooted in the understanding that everything unfolds in perfect order, even if the process is not immediately visible. Another important aspect of persistence in vision is resilience. The road to any goal is rarely free of obstacles. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. However, persistence means bouncing back from these challenges, not letting them diminish your belief in your vision. Resilience is the ability to continue moving forward in the face of adversity. It is the inner strength that allows you to rise after each fall, with even greater determination and focus. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth and learning, a chance to refine your vision and strengthen your resolve. Persistence in vision also requires a deep sense of commitment. It is not enough to simply wish for something or to have a passing thought of what you would like to achieve. You must commit to the vision, dedicating your mental and emotional energy to it. This commitment involves consistently choosing your vision over distractions, negativity, or doubt. It means making decisions that are in alignment with your goal, even when it requires sacrifice or delayed gratification. Commitment fuels persistence, and with unwavering commitment to your vision, you continue to take inspired action toward your goals, no matter the challenges that arise. Persistence in vision encourages the practice of gratitude. As you continue to focus on your vision, you must be grateful for every step, every experience, and every moment that brings you closer to your desired outcome. Gratitude amplifies the energy of your vision, sending a clear message to the universe that you are ready to receive all that you have imagined. It also keeps you in a positive, receptive state, allowing the flow of abundance and opportunity to reach you more easily. The more grateful you are for the progress you've made, the more you open yourself to receiving the full manifestation of your vision. Persistence in vision is about living as if your vision is already a reality. It is about embodying the feelings, attitudes, and behaviors that are in alignment with the outcome you seek. When you persist in your vision, you are not just working toward a goal, you are already living it in your mind and in your energy. You hold your vision with such certainty and conviction that it cannot help but manifest in your reality. The persistence in your belief, the continued mental focus, and the steady alignment of your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your vision create the conditions for your desires to come into being. There is a timeless truth that governs the workings of life, and love what is meant for you cannot be missed. The moment you plant the seed of desire within your mind, it begins to take root. But the key to its fulfillment is not in the frantic chase, but in the quiet assurance that it is already yours. You must understand, dear one, that the world you see is merely a reflection of your inner state. If you believe that love is something to pursue, to chase, to grasp with desperation, you will find yourself running endlessly. But if you rest in the truth that love is a natural expression of who you are, then love will find its way to you without effort. Stillness is the most profound power you possess. In a world constantly moving, where people rush to fulfill their desires and chase fleeting goals, it is the one who can sit in quiet assurance who commands life's unfolding. Stillness is not idleness, it is the calm, deliberate awareness that the fulfillment of your desires is already within you. It is the recognition that nothing outside of you has the power to grant you what you seek. You connect to the infinite power of creation. When you are still, you quiet the noise of doubt, fear, and desperation. You silence the voice that says you must act, fight, or struggle to receive. Instead, you tune into a deeper truth. Everything you desire already exists within the invisible realm, and it is your inner state that draws it forth into the visible. The moment you still your mind, you step into harmony with the forces that shape your world. People often believe that action is the key to getting what they want. They run, chase, and exhaust themselves trying to manipulate circumstances. But their frantic efforts only create resistance because they operate from a state of lack. They believe they must do in order to have. This is the great illusion. True power does not come from doing, it comes from being. And to be requires stillness. Stillness is not passive. It is the active choice to align with the state of fulfillment, to rest in the feeling of having already received. When you sit quietly and imagine your desire as a present reality, you are performing the most potent act of creation. You are planting the seed of your desire in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. From there it grows, nourished by your faith and conviction, until it inevitably manifests in your experience. When you are still, you do not chase. You do not plead or force. You simply allow. You trust that the universe knows the perfect way to bring your desire to you in the perfect time. Your task is not to figure out the how or the when. Your task is to stay anchored in the knowing that it is done. This knowing is the essence of stillness. It is the quiet confidence that life is working in your favor, even when you cannot yet see the results. Stillness also allows you to hear the whispers of intuition. When your mind is cluttered with worry or overrun with endless plans, you miss the subtle guidance that comes from within. But when you are still, you open the channel to receive inspiration. The ideas, insights, and opportunities begin to flow to you effortlessly. You no longer have to struggle to make things happen, because you are aligned with the natural flow of creation. The power of stillness lies in its ability to shift your state of being. When you are still, you move from a state of lack to a state of abundance. You stop focusing on what is missing and start embodying the feeling of fulfillment. And it is this feeling, not your actions, that shapes your reality. The world reflects your inner state like a mirror. If you are restless, anxious, or doubtful, your world will reflect that. But if you are still, calm, and assured, your world will mirror that peace and bring forth your desires with ease. Stillness is an act of surrender, but not in the sense of giving up. It is the surrender of resistance. It is letting go of the need to control and trusting that life's wisdom is greater than your own. When you surrender, you step out of the way and allow the forces of the universe to work on your behalf. You stop interfering with their flow and start cooperating with it. In stillness, you discover that the real journey is not about changing the external world, but about transforming within. It is about becoming the person who naturally attracts what they desire. When you are still, you allow yourself to feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. This feeling is the bridge that connects the invisible with the visible, the unmanifested with the manifested. Stillness is a practice. It requires patience and faith. There will be moments when the urge to act impulsively or to doubt creeps in. But in those moments, return to stillness. Remind yourself that there is nothing to fear, nothing to force. All you need is already yours. Sit with that truth. Breathe it in. Let it settle into every corner of your being. The greatest movements of life arise from stillness. The seed does not strain to grow, it simply rests in the soil, trusting the process of life. The same is true for you. Rest in the soil of your own inner knowing. Trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. Be still and know that you are already complete. In this stillness, you unlock the limitless power within you, and the world bends to reflect your state of grace. Imagination is the invisible hand that shapes the reality you experience. Every structure, every invention, every moment of beauty or triumph began first as an image in someone's mind. Before it was seen in the physical world, it was felt, envisioned, and brought to life in the realm of imagination. This is the secret to creation. The world you live in is merely a reflection of the thoughts and images you hold within. When you grasp the power of imagination, you realize that nothing is truly beyond your reach. Your imagination is the workshop of creation. It is here that you build the blueprint for the life you desire. Yet many people misuse this power. Instead of imagining possibilities, they dwell on fears, failures, or limitations. They replay the worst-case scenarios in their minds and wonder why their lives mirror these fears. They do not realize that their imagination, whether consciously directed or not, is constantly creating their reality. To harness the power of imagination, you must understand that it works in alignment with your feelings and beliefs. It is not enough to simply think about what you want. You must feel it as though it is already real. When you imagine yourself living the life you desire, fully immersed in the experience, your subconscious mind begins to accept this as your truth. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It takes your inner vision as fact and works tirelessly to bring it to fruition. Think of your imagination as the canvas upon which you paint the masterpiece of your life. Every detail matters. If you want abundance, imagine yourself surrounded by prosperity. Feel the joy and relief of having more than enough. See the details clearly. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Let those feelings saturate your being. This act of creative imagining is not a mere exercise, it is the foundation upon which your future is built. The key is to imagine from the end. Do not imagine yourself desiring or striving for your goal, as that only reinforces the state of lack. Instead, place yourself in the scene where your desire is already fulfilled. If it is love you seek, imagine yourself in a loving relationship. Feel the warmth, the companionship, the laughter. Make it real in your mind. By doing so, you are telling the universe, "This is who I am." And the universe responds by aligning your reality with your new identity. This power, however, requires discipline. It is not enough to imagine once or twice and then revert to old patterns of doubt and worry. You must persist in your vision, even when there is no immediate evidence that your desire is on its way. Faith is the bridge that connects your imagination to reality. When you persistently hold an image in your mind, with faith that it will come to pass, you set into motion forces that are beyond your conscious understanding. Your imagination is also the key to overcoming obstacles. When faced with challenges, do not dwell on the problem. Instead, use your imagination to see the solution. Envision yourself already victorious, already thriving. This mental shift not only changes your perspective, but also opens the door for solutions to reveal themselves. Your imagination is not bound by the limitations of logic or circumstances. It sees beyond what is and focuses on what can be. The beauty of imagination is that it allows you to become the architect of your own destiny. You are not a victim of circumstances or a puppet of fate. You have the power to create, to shape, to design the life you want. But this power requires you to take responsibility for your thoughts. You must choose your inner images with care, knowing that they will shape the world around you. Imagine boldly, without fear or doubt. Do not limit yourself by what seems possible or practical. Remember, the purpose of imagination is to transcend the limitations of the present moment and reach into the infinite realm of possibility. Trust in this process. What you vividly imagine with feeling and faith must come to pass. This is not a matter of chance, but of law. In the quiet moments of your day, close your eyes and enter the world of imagination. Build there the life you wish to live. Make it as real and vivid as you can. Then carry the feeling of that imagined reality into your waking moments. Let it guide your actions, your decisions, and your interactions. Over time, you will see that your outer world begins to shift, aligning itself with the vision you have held within. Letting go does not mean giving up on your desires. It means surrendering the need to control how and when they manifest. It means moving from a state of lack to a state of faith. This faith is not blind optimism, but a deep knowing that life is working in your favor, even if you cannot yet see the results. When you let go, you shift your focus from external striving to internal alignment. This shift is where true power lies. The act of letting go requires patience and trust, both of which can feel challenging in a world that glorifies hustle and instant gratification. But remember, the greatest transformations often occur in stillness. When you stop chasing and start trusting, you open yourself to possibilities that you might have overlooked in your frantic pursuit. You begin to notice the subtle signs, the intuitive nudges, and the opportunities that were always there but hidden from your view. Another key to releasing the need to chase is cultivating a sense of worthiness. Often the impulse to chase stems from a subconscious belief that you are not enough as you are, that you must earn or prove your worth to receive what you want. But the truth is, you are already deserving. Your worth is inherent and unchanging. When you embrace this truth, you no longer feel the need to grasp or cling. Instead, you attract effortlessly because you radiate confidence and self-assurance. Releasing the need to chase is an act of self-love. It is a declaration that you trust yourself and the unfolding of your journey. It is choosing peace over desperation, alignment over effort, and faith over fear. When you embody this state, you become magnetic. You draw to you the people, circumstances, and opportunities that resonate with your energy. You no longer have to chase, because everything you desire flows naturally into your life. The paradox of letting go. is that it often accelerates the manifestation of your desires. When you stop chasing, you stop creating resistance. You step into the flow of life, where things happen with ease and grace. This doesn't mean you sit idle, it means you take inspired action from a place of alignment and trust, rather than from a place of fear and lack. As you release the need to chase, you will find a sense of freedom. No longer bound by the pressure to pursue, you can focus on becoming the best version of yourself. You can nurture your dreams, follow your passions, and enjoy the present moment, knowing that everything you desire is already on its way. Trust in this process. Let go of the chase, and watch as life begins to unfold in ways that are far greater than you could have imagined. The state of being is the foundation of everything you experience in life. It is the silent force shaping your reality, often without your conscious awareness. While action has its place in the physical world, it is secondary to the state from which you act. The most transformative and fulfilling outcomes arise not from frantic activity, but from a state of being that is aligned with your desires. To truly create the life you want, you must focus on your state of being first, allowing your actions to flow naturally and effortlessly from that inner alignment. The world often glorifies action. It rewards busyness, hustle, and relentless effort. Society teaches that if you want something, you must chase it, fight for it, and never stop until you achieve it. But what if this constant striving is not the way to true fulfillment? What if the most effective path begins not with doing but with being? Your state of being, the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you carry within determines the quality of your actions and the results they produce. Action that arises from a state of doubt, fear, or lack will always fall short, no matter how much effort you put in. When you prioritize your state of being, you are aligning yourself with the outcomes you desire. Think of it as tuning a radio. You cannot hear your favorite station unless you first adjust the dial to the correct frequency. In the same way, you cannot attract what you truly want unless you align your state of being with the frequency of those desires. This alignment happens through feelings, thoughts, and beliefs that resonate with the life you wish to create. When you embody the state of someone who already has what they want, your actions become natural expressions of that state. Consider this: a person who feels abundant will naturally take actions that reflect abundance. They will make decisions confidently, share generously, and embrace opportunities with ease. On the other hand, a person who feels scarcity, even if they work tirelessly, will approach life with hesitation, fear, and a tendency to hold back. Their state of being undermines their actions. The difference is not in the effort, but in the energy behind the effort. This is why focusing on your state of being is so essential. It ensures that every action you take is infused with the power to manifest your desired outcome. The key to cultivating the right state of being is self-awareness. Take time to observe your inner world. What are you feeling? What thoughts dominate your mind? Are they aligned with what you want to create, or are they rooted in fear and doubt? Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Once you recognize the state you are in, you can consciously choose a new one. This is not about forcing yourself to feel something you don't truly believe, but about gently shifting your focus toward the emotions and thoughts that support your desired reality. Visualization and imagination are powerful tools for aligning your state of being. When you vividly imagine yourself living the life you desire, your mind begins to accept it as your reality. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person you want to be. Feel the emotions of already having what you seek. Let that feeling saturate your being. This practice is not about escaping the present, but about creating a new inner reality that will inevitably manifest outwardly. When your state of being changes, your actions and experiences follow suit. Trust plays a significant role in shifting from action-driven to being-centered living. Trust that the universe, or the higher power you believe in, is working in harmony with your intentions. Trust that you don't need to control every detail or force outcomes. This trust allows you to relax into your state of being, knowing that it is enough to set the wheels of creation in motion. When you act from a place of trust, your actions are inspired and effortless, rather than forced and exhausting. It is important to remember that action is not the enemy. It is a necessary part of life. but it must be the servant of your state of being, not the master. Action taken from alignment is powerful and effective. It feels natural, as if you are being carried by a current rather than swimming against it. You may still work hard, but the work will feel joyful and purposeful, because it is in harmony with your inner state. The key is not to abandon action, but to ensure it flows from a place of clarity and alignment. This principle applies to every area of life. In relationships, for example, trying to win someone's affection through relentless effort rarely works. True connection arises from a state of being that radiates love, confidence, and authenticity. In career and business, success comes not from working yourself to exhaustion, but from embodying the qualities of someone who is already successful: vision, confidence, and a sense of purpose. When you focus on your state of being, you reclaim your power. You realize that you are not at the mercy of external circumstances. Instead, you are the creator of your reality. Everything begins within, and when you align your inner world with your desires, the outer world responds in kind. This is not magic, it is a fundamental truth of existence. By prioritizing your state of being over action, you unlock a life of greater ease, joy, and fulfillment. You become a living example of the profound truth that who you are is far more important than what you do. Letting go of resistance is one of the most liberating choices you can make. Resistance is the invisible wall that blocks your flow, the inner tension that keeps you disconnected from the peace, joy, and abundance that are naturally yours. It shows up in subtle ways: doubts, fears, frustrations, or the need to control every outcome. Yet the very act of resisting what is creates a cycle of struggle, leaving you trapped in patterns that prevent you from moving forward. To let go of resistance is to release the weight that holds you down and to step into a life of freedom and ease. Resistance often stems from the mind's attachment to how things should be. We create rigid expectations about how events should unfold, how others should behave, or how quickly we should achieve our goals. When reality does not conform to these expectations, resistance arises. It manifests as frustration, impatience, or even despair. The more tightly we cling to these expectations, the more we suffer. This suffering is not caused by the situation itself, but by our refusal to accept it as it is. The goal of resistance begins with awareness. You must first notice when and where resistance is present in your life. It could be in the form of a lingering resentment, an unresolved fear, or a constant feeling of pushing against something. Pay attention to your emotions and your body. Resistance often reveals itself as tension, a tightness in your chest, a knot in your stomach, or a racing mind. These signals are your invitation to pause, reflect, and let go. To let go does not mean to give up or resign yourself to an undesirable fate. It means to release the inner struggle against what is. It means to accept the present moment fully, not because you necessarily like it, but because resisting it will not change it. Acceptance is not passive. It is a powerful act of surrender that aligns you with the flow of life. When you accept what is, you create space for transformation. You move from a place of resistance to one of possibility. The key to releasing resistance lies in shifting your focus. Instead of obsessing over what is wrong, turn your attention to what feels good, what inspires you, or what you can appreciate right now. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to resistance. It redirects your energy from lack to abundance, from frustration to contentment. By focusing on what you are grateful for, you soften the grip of resistance and open yourself to the natural flow of life. Letting go of resistance also requires trust. Trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should, even if it does not match your expectations. Trust that every challenge carries within it the seed of growth, and that every delay serves a purpose. When you trust the process, you no longer feel the need to force outcomes or control every detail. Instead, you can relax into the rhythm of life, knowing that you are always being guided toward your highest good. One of the most effective ways to release resistance is through mindfulness. Mindfulness brings you into the present moment, where resistance cannot exist. Resistance thrives in the stories your mind creates about the past or future, regrets about what has been, or worries about what might come. In the present moment, there is only what is, and in that space you can find peace. Practice mindfulness by observing your thoughts without judgment, focusing on your breath, or simply being fully present with whatever you are doing. Another practice that helps in letting go of resistance is self-compassion. Often resistance is directed inward. We resist our own imperfections, mistakes, or feelings of vulnerability. This inner resistance creates a cycle of shame and self-criticism that keeps us stuck. By practicing self-compassion, you can break this cycle. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer to a dear friend. Acknowledge your struggles without judgment, and remind yourself that it is okay to be human. Letting go of resistance does not mean you stop pursuing your goals or dreams. It means you stop fighting against the current and start flowing with it. When you let go of resistance, your actions become inspired rather than forced. You are no longer driven by fear or frustration, but by a sense of joy and alignment. This shift in energy makes all the difference. What once felt like an uphill battle now feels effortless. Opportunities arise, solutions present themselves, and progress happens naturally. Resistance often disguises itself as control. We believe that if we can just manage every detail, we can make things go our way. But control is an illusion. The more we try to control, the more resistance we create. True power comes from surrender, not control. Surrender does not mean giving up, it means letting go of the need to force outcomes and trusting that life will unfold in the best possible way. Paradoxically, it is in surrender that you find your greatest strength. When you let go of resistance, you open yourself to the flow of life. You align with the natural rhythm of the universe, where everything happens in its perfect time and order. You become a co-creator with life, rather than its adversary. The energy you once spent on struggle and frustration is now available for creativity, joy, and growth. Letting go of resistance is not a one-time event, it is a daily practice, a continual choice to release and trust. Life becomes infinitely more beautiful when you let go of resistance. You no longer carry the heavy burden of trying to control the uncontrollable. You free yourself to experience the present moment fully, and to embrace the endless possibilities that arise when you are in flow. Let go of resistance, and you will discover a deeper peace, a greater ease, and a life that feels as if it is unfolding perfectly, just as it is meant to be. Close your eyes and feel this truth: no power outside of you can harm you unless you give it consent through fear or doubt. Today we stand firmly in the light of divine protection, knowing that every plan of harm, seen or unseen, is rendered powerless by the strength of your inner conviction. The truth that your inner world shapes your outer world is a principle so profound that it can transform your life when fully grasped. Everything you experience in the external world is a reflection of the beliefs, emotions, and assumptions held in the depths of your inner being. It is not mere chance or fate that determines your circumstances, but the invisible workings of your consciousness. The external reality is a mirror, showing you the state of your mind and spirit. To change your life, you must first change within. Imagine for a moment that your mind is a projector, and the world around you is the screen. The images you see on the screen come not from the screen itself, but from the film within the projector. In the same way, the situations, relationships, and events in your life are projections of your internal beliefs and assumptions. This realization is both liberating and sobering. It means you are never at the mercy of external circumstances, no matter how dire they may appear. Instead, you hold the power to create a new reality by transforming your inner state. Every thought you entertain, every emotion you harbor, and every belief you accept as true becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Over time, these seeds grow and manifest as the conditions of your life. If you plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation, you will reap a harvest of struggle and lack. Conversely, if you sow seeds of confidence, love, and abundance, your outer world will flourish with opportunities, joy, and prosperity. The universe is impartial. It responds faithfully to the nature of your inner vibrations. It is crucial to examine the assumptions you carry about yourself and the world. These assumptions operate like unseen laws, shaping your experiences without your conscious awareness. For example, if you assume that life is a constant struggle, You will unknowingly attract situations that confirm this belief. However, if you adopt the assumption that life is filled with ease and grace, the world will reorganize itself to reflect that truth. The key is not to wait for external validation, but to hold firmly to your chosen assumptions, even when external circumstances seem to contradict them. Emotions play a vital role in shaping your inner world. They are the fuel that powers your creative abilities. A belief held without emotion is weak and ineffective, but when a belief is charged with strong feelings, it becomes a powerful force. Therefore, cultivate emotions that align with the life you desire. Feel the joy, peace, and gratitude of already having what you seek, even before it appears in your physical reality. This practice shifts your consciousness into harmony with your desires and accelerates their manifestation. The act of imagination is another potent tool in shaping your inner world. Your imagination is not a mere daydreaming faculty, but a divine power capable of creating realities. When you vividly imagine a scene as if it is happening now, and you feel it to be true, you impress that vision upon your subconscious mind. The subconscious, in turn, sets the wheels of creation into motion, drawing to you the people, opportunities, and circumstances needed to bring your vision to life. This is why it is said, "As within, so without." Guard your thoughts vigilantly, for they are the architects of your destiny. Reject any idea that does not serve your highest good, and replace it with thoughts that affirm your worth, potential, and capability. Surround yourself with uplifting influences, books, conversations, and environments that nourish your spirit. Remember, your outer world is a reflection, not a cause. To blame external conditions is to misunderstand the principle. Instead, turn inward and take responsibility for what you find there. Your life is your creation, shaped moment by the activity of your mind. Align your inner world with your highest aspirations, and the outer world will inevitably follow. The power is within you, waiting to be realized. Your consciousness is the master key to every door you wish to open. When you shape your inner world with intention and love, you hold the reins of your destiny. Imagination is one of the most powerful faculties of the human mind, serving as both a shield and a weapon in the journey of life. It is the creative force that enables you to transcend limitations, envision possibilities, and shape your reality. When properly directed, imagination has the power to protect you from harm and manifest the life you desire. It is the unseen tool through which you navigate challenges and build a future aligned with your highest aspirations. As a shield, imagination serves to protect you from the negative forces of fear, doubt, and despair. In moments of difficulty, it allows you to envision a brighter outcome, shielding you from the paralyzing effects of hopelessness. Fear thrives on imagining the worst-case scenario, but you can disarm it by redirecting your imagination toward faith and possibility. Instead of succumbing to thoughts of failure, use your imagination to picture success. Instead of dwelling on loss, envision abundance. By doing so, you create an inner sanctuary where no external circumstance can shake your peace of mind. The imagination also shields you from the influence of others who may seek to impose their limitations or negativity upon you. The world is full of voices that tell you what you cannot do, who you cannot become, and why your dreams are impractical. Yet, through the power of imagination, you can rise above these constraints. You can create a mental picture so vivid, so compelling, that it becomes more real to you than the doubter's opinions. This mental image becomes your fortress, a place of refuge where you can reconnect with your inner truth and draw strength to persist. As a weapon, imagination enables you to shape reality according to your will. Every invention, achievement, and transformation in history began as a thought, a vision in the mind of someone who dared to imagine beyond the present moment. Imagination is the birthplace of creation. When you close your eyes and envision a desired outcome as though it has already happened, you activate the creative powers of your subconscious mind. This is not idle fantasy, but a deliberate act of shaping the unseen forces that govern your reality. The power of imagination as a weapon lies in its ability to change your vibration and align you with the outcomes you seek. When you vividly imagine yourself living your desired reality, your mind and emotions begin to resonate with that vision. This resonance draws opportunities, people, and circumstances into your life that match your imagined state. In this way, imagination is the starting point of manifestation. It is the weapon that cuts through doubt and creates the pathway to fulfillment. Imagination also serves as a tool for problem solving and overcoming obstacles. When faced with challenges, the mind often defaults to panic or resignation. But through imagination, you can rise above the immediate problem and see it from a higher perspective. You can visualize solutions that were previously hidden, transforming difficulties into stepping stones. By imagining yourself as victorious even in the face of adversity, you summon the courage and clarity needed to move forward. One of the greatest gifts of imagination is its ability to rewrite your story. No matter what has happened in the past, you have the power to imagine a new narrative. You are not bound by your history or current circumstances. Through imagination, you can create a vision of yourself as the person you aspire to be, living the life you desire. The mind does not distinguish between a vividly imagined event and a real one. It accepts both as truth. By repeatedly imagining a new reality, you impress it upon your subconscious mind, which then works to bring it to pass. To wield imagination effectively, it must be disciplined and intentional. Many people misuse this power, allowing it to run wild with fears and worst-case scenarios. But when you consciously direct your imagination, it becomes your greatest ally. Begin each day by imagining the outcomes you desire. See them, feel them, and believe in them as though they are already yours. Let your imagination be your guide, showing you the path to your dreams and protecting you from the distractions and negativity that would pull you off course. Imagination is not a luxury or a pastime, it is the foundation of all creation. As a shield, it guards your mind from the forces that seek to diminish you. As a weapon, it empowers you to create a reality that reflects your highest potential. Use it wisely, and you will discover that there is no limit to what you can achieve. The world within you holds infinite possibilities. Imagine boldly, and watch as those possibilities unfold into your life. Faith is more than hope, more than optimism. It is a complete and unwavering, knowing that what you desire already exists in the unseen realm and is making its way into your physical reality. It is the foundation upon which all miracles are built, the force that bridges the gap between what you imagine and what you experience. Faith is not a passive state of wishing, but an active state of being, rooted in certainty and conviction. It is this knowing, this absolute trust, that transforms mere thoughts into tangible results. When you operate from faith, you align yourself with the creative power of the universe. Faith does not waver in the face of evidence. To the contrary, it does not flinch when circumstances seem impossible. Instead, it holds firm, knowing that appearances are temporary and that reality is shaped from within. Faith sees beyond the present moment to the truth of what is possible. It understands that what you truly believe without doubt or hesitation must come to pass. Faith as a complete knowing is grounded in the understanding that creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists in potential. The job, the relationship, the healing, the abundance, it is all there, waiting for you to claim it through your belief. To have faith is to step into the reality of your desire now, before it has materialized. It is to act, think, and feel as though it is already yours, because in the higher realms of consciousness, it already is. This is the essence of faith, a deep, unshakable conviction that transcends logic and sensory evidence. Doubt is the enemy of faith, and it arises when we rely too heavily on what our senses tell us. The physical world often appears to contradict the desires of the heart, creating a sense of separation between what we want and what we currently have. But faith dismisses these contradictions as illusions. It knows that the physical world is simply a reflection of past beliefs, and that by holding steadfast to a new belief, the outer world will inevitably conform. Faith is the power to look beyond what is and to see what can be, and then to hold that vision until it becomes reality. This kind of faith requires persistence. It is not enough to momentarily believe in your desire. You must dwell in that belief until it becomes a state of being. This means cultivating a sense of gratitude and joy for what you seek, as if it were already present. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier of faith, for it signals to the universe that you already have what you desire. By feeling thankful in advance, you align yourself with the reality you wish to experience, drawing it closer with every thought and emotion. Faith is also an act of surrender. It is not about forcing outcomes or trying to control every detail of how your desires will manifest. Instead, it is about trusting that the universe is working on your behalf, even when you cannot see it. This trust is a vital aspect of complete knowing. It allows you to release fear and anxiety, resting in the assurance that everything is unfolding perfectly. When you truly have faith, you stop questioning whether it will happen and start preparing for its arrival. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is that it shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Instead of dwelling on what is missing, you dwell on what is already yours in the spiritual realm. This shift in perspective transforms your energy, elevating your vibration to match the frequency of your desires. As a result, you become a magnet for the very things you seek. Faith is not about waiting for evidence, it is about becoming the evidence through your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Faith is the antidote to fear, the light that dispels darkness. It reminds you that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a co-creator of your reality. It empowers you to move forward with confidence, even when the path ahead is unclear. With faith, you are never alone, for you are connected to a higher power that guides and supports you in all things. Faith as a complete knowing is a choice. It is a decision to believe in the unseen, to trust in the process, and to stand firm in the face of doubt. When you choose faith, you choose to live from a place of power and possibility. You choose to see the world not as it is but as it could be. And in doing so, you unlock the limitless potential within you to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Evil, in its many forms, thrives on fear, hatred, and division. It seeks to darken the heart and separate individuals from their true nature, which is love. Yet, no matter how overwhelming the shadows may seem, they are powerless against the light of love. To dissolve evil, one must not meet it with anger or resistance, but with the transformative power of love and light. These forces are the highest frequencies in the universe, capable of dissolving even the deepest darkness without confrontation. Love is not merely an emotion, it is a state of being, a recognition of the divine essence that exists within every soul. When you embody love, you transcend judgment and see beyond the surface of any situation. Evil is often a manifestation of ignorance, pain, or disconnection. Those who perpetuate harm do so because they are blind to their own light. By responding with love, you hold up a mirror to their higher self, offering them the chance to awaken to their true nature. Love does not condone or excuse evil but seeks to heal the root causes that give rise to it. The light you carry within is a powerful shield. It cannot be dimmed by external negativity unless you allow it. When you center yourself in this light, you become a beacon of hope and transformation. Imagine walking into a dark room with a single candle. The darkness does not resist the light, it simply disappears. Similarly, when you approach evil with the light of your consciousness, it begins to dissolve. This is not a battle, but a process of illumination. Darkness cannot coexist with light, just as hatred cannot survive in the presence of unconditional love. To dissolve evil through love and light requires a shift in perspective. It is easy to view the world through a lens of separation, labeling people or situations as good or bad. However, this duality feeds the cycle of negativity. Instead, embrace the understanding that all things are interconnected, and that even the darkest moments can serve as catalysts for growth and awakening. When you choose to respond with love, you break the cycle and introduce a higher vibration into the situation. This higher vibration has the power to transform not only the immediate circumstances, but also the energy surrounding them. Forgiveness is a key aspect of dissolving evil. To forgive does not mean to condone harm, but to release the hold that anger and resentment have on your heart. When you forgive, you free yourself from the chains of the past and allow healing to begin. Forgiveness is an act of love, both for yourself and for those who have caused harm. It acknowledges that holding on to hatred only perpetuates pain, while releasing it paves the way for peace. Through forgiveness, you shine a light on the path of redemption, offering others the chance to choose differently. Your thoughts and intentions are powerful tools in this process. When you focus on the goodness in others, even when it is hidden, you help bring it to the surface. Visualize those who have caused harm surrounded by light, their hearts softened and their minds awakened to the truth of love. This is not wishful thinking, but a deliberate act of creation. Your thoughts influence the collective consciousness, sending ripples of love and healing into the world. It is also essential to cultivate love and light within yourself. You cannot give what you do not have. Take time to nurture your spirit through practices that align you with your higher self, such as meditation, gratitude, and acts of kindness. The more you embody love and light, the stronger your influence becomes. You do not need to confront evil directly. Your very presence can be enough to shift the energy around you. This is the quiet yet profound power of living in alignment with your true nature. Love and light are not passive forces. They are active agents of transformation, capable of dissolving even the most entrenched negativity. When you choose to meet evil with love, you reclaim your power and affirm the truth that darkness has no lasting hold. You become a vessel through which divine energy flows, bringing healing and harmony to the world. By embodying love and light, you not only dissolve evil, but also inspire others to do the same. In this way, you contribute to the collective awakening of humanity, moving the world closer to a state of peace and unity. Persistence is the quiet yet unwavering force that guides you toward the realization of your desires and the state of inner peace. It is not a frantic or desperate striving, but a steady commitment to remain aligned with your vision, no matter what the outer circumstances may suggest. True persistence is not about efforting, it is about holding faith, nurturing belief, and continuing to affirm your desired reality until the feeling of peace takes root within you. This peace is not a sign of resignation, but of mastery, the knowing that what you have imagined is already yours. Every desire, every dream, begins in the realm of the unseen. It exists as a potential reality, waiting for you to bring it forth through your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. But the path from imagination to manifestation often tests your resolve. Doubts may arise, circumstances may appear contrary, and the waiting period can feel endless. It is in these moments that persistence becomes your greatest ally. Persistence is not merely enduring the wait, it is about sustaining the feeling of your desired outcome, refusing to let go of the inner conviction that it is already accomplished. The key to persistence is cultivating a feeling of inner certainty. This is not wishful thinking or blind optimism, but a deep-seated knowing that your desires are inevitable. This certainty creates a sense of calm and confidence, even in the face of challenges. The more you persist in this state, the more peace you will feel, for peace is the natural byproduct of unwavering faith. It is the assurance that the universe is working on your behalf, orchestrating events and aligning circumstances to bring your vision into reality. So, persistence requires discipline, particularly over your thoughts and emotions. The mind is easily swayed by appearances, and it takes effort to remain focused on what you desire rather than what you fear. Negative emotions like doubt, frustration, and impatience can disrupt the flow of creation. But when you persist in cultivating thoughts of success, joy, and gratitude, you strengthen your alignment with your desired reality. This alignment brings a sense of peace, for you are no longer resisting or questioning the process. One of the most powerful ways to persist is through the practice of assumption. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and dwell in that state as often as possible. Feel the joy, relief, and gratitude of having already received what you desire. This feeling is your anchor, your connection to the reality you are creating. The more you return to this feeling, the more real it becomes, until it eventually manifests in your external world. Persistence in this context is the act of repeatedly bringing yourself back to that feeling, regardless of what is happening around you. Persistence does not mean ignoring or suppressing your challenges. It means facing them with the awareness that they are temporary and cannot derail your ultimate outcome. Each challenge is an opportunity to deepen your faith and refine your focus. By persisting through difficulties, you demonstrate to yourself and to the universe that you are serious about your vision. This commitment strengthens your belief and accelerates the manifestation process. The feeling of peace is the ultimate sign that your persistence has taken root. When you reach this state, you are no longer striving or questioning, you are simply resting in the knowing that all is well. This peace is a powerful signal to the universe, affirming that you are ready to receive. It is not a passive state, but a deeply creative one, for it aligns you perfectly with the flow of life. From this place of peace, inspired actions arise naturally, and the path to your desires unfolds effortlessly. Persistence is not measured by time, but by depth of conviction. It is not about how long you can hold on, but how completely you can align with the feeling of your wish fulfilled. When you persist until the feeling of peace, you have crossed the threshold from wanting to having, from separation to unity. In this state, you are no longer seeking your desire, you are living it internally, and the external manifestation is inevitable. The journey to peace requires trust in yourself, in the process, and in the divine intelligence that governs all things. This trust allows you to persist with joy rather than struggle, with faith rather than doubt. As you hold to your vision and nurture the feeling of its fulfillment, peace will rise within you as a quiet but unshakable confirmation that your desire is already yours. And when peace fills your heart, it is only a matter of time before your outer world reflects the perfection you have cultivated within. The words you speak hold extraordinary power. They are not mere sounds or vibrations, but the architects of your reality. Every word carries energy, shaping the world around you and within you. To speak is to create, and your spoken words become the seeds from which your experiences grow. When you understand this, it becomes clear that you must choose your words carefully, ensuring that they align with the life you wish to lead and the person you desire to become. Speak only words of power and life, for they are the tools that craft your destiny. Words are a reflection of your inner beliefs and emotions. They reveal what you truly hold in your heart and mind, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you speak words of doubt, fear, or limitation, you affirm those states as your reality. I can't, it's too hard, or I'll never have enough are not just expressions of frustration, they are commands to the universe, instructing it to manifest exactly what you have spoken. Conversely, when you speak words of confidence, love, and abundance, you align yourself with a higher vibration, inviting those realities into your life. To speak words of power and life is to declare your faith in possibilities beyond what your eyes can see. It is to affirm your divine nature and the limitless potential within you. When you say, I am capable, I am deserving, or I am enough, you activate the creative force within and set into motion the events that will confirm your words. These declarations are not empty affirmations, they are acts of creation, drawing from the unseen to shape the seen. Silence can also be an act of power. There are moments when the most potent thing you can say is nothing at all. Negative words, whether spoken about yourself or others, carry a destructive energy that diminishes your power and dims your light. When faced with anger, criticism, or negativity, choosing silence allows you to rise above the lower vibrations. It creates space for reflection and preserves the sanctity of your energy. To speak words of power and life means knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Your words are also a gift to others. They have the power to uplift, encourage, and heal. A kind word at the right moment can transform someone's day or even their life. When you speak words of love and support, you not only elevate those around you but also raise your own vibration. The energy you give through your words returns to you multiplied, for the universe mirrors back what you project. By speaking life into others, you affirm the abundance of life within yourself. It is essential to develop an awareness of the habitual words you use. Many people unknowingly speak limitations into their lives through phrases like, I'm just unlucky, or that always happens to me. These statements may seem harmless, but they reinforce patterns of lack and misfortune. Replace them with empowering alternatives, such as, I am fortunate, or everything is working out for my good. Over time, these new patterns of speech will reprogram your mind and transform your reality. Speaking words of power and life requires consistency and mindfulness. It is not a one-time effort, but a daily practice. Begin each day with declarations that affirm your worth, your strength, and your vision for the future. Speak as though your desires are already realized, and express gratitude for the blessings you have and those yet to come. Gratitude spoken aloud is one of the most powerful tools for attracting more of what you want. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance and opens the door for miracles. Even in moments of difficulty, you have the choice to speak life. Instead of giving voice to fear or despair, declare hope and resilience. Say, "This too shall pass," or "I am growing stronger through this challenge." These words have the power to shift your perspective and anchor you in the truth of your inner power. When you consistently speak life, even in the face of adversity, you become a source of inspiration and strength, not only for yourself, but also for others. Remember, every word you speak is an investment in your future. Your life is a reflection of the words you have spoken and the beliefs they represent. By choosing words of power and life, you take control of your narrative, directing it toward the fulfillment of your highest potential. Speak with intention, speak with love, and speak with faith, for your words are the bridge between your dreams and your reality. With every word, you have the power to create a life of abundance, joy, and purpose. Use this power wisely, and let your words be the light that guides you and those around you to greater heights. The words you choose to speak are far more than just expressions. They are the building blocks of your reality and the key to unlocking your highest potential. When you speak words of power and life, you align with the truth of who you are, a creator capable of shaping your world with intention and love. Each word carries the energy to uplift, inspire, and transform not only your life but also the lives of those around you. By cultivating mindfulness in your speech and choosing words that resonate with positivity, strength, and faith, you step into your role as a co-creator with the universe. Let your words reflect the vision you hold for your future. Let them be declarations of abundance, love, and gratitude, even in the face of challenges. Remember that silence, too, has its place, offering you the opportunity to preserve your energy and align with your inner peace. As you speak life into your reality, you invite the highest good to unfold in every area of your existence. Thank you for allowing me to share these truths with you. May your words always be filled with power, your heart brimming with light, and your life overflowing with blessings.